What's up everybody? Welcome back to Make It Custom. This video is going to be all about cleaning up this van. I gotta tell you guys, this thing's been in here for a couple of days. I haven't been working on it. I've been dreaming about it and I've been staring at it lots. But I gotta say, this thing, I think is probably, if not the cleanest, it's one of the top 5 maybe, cleanest original boogie van show vans around. I would challenge anybody to show me another van that has been this well preserved. I'm talking about period preserved. Like, there are lots of vans that are famous that have been restored. This one is unrestored and it is in like 99.9% perfect shape. Like, it's just been stored indoors and well kept since forever. Another news update, the original owner of the van shop, not the van shop, but the body shop that did this, Fantasia Body Shop, him, as well as the artist, David Lloyd, who did all this artwork on here, they both have found this van through the interwebs and contacted me. So we will have plenty of stories about it. I just can't wait to really talk to these guys about it. I thought that the original owner had passed away, which is not true. He was the second owner of the van. Get this. Kevin Landry actually traded this van for camera gear. Yeah, he traded this van for camera gear and left for Vietnam. He's still in Vietnam. Kevin Landry and David Lloyd and Steve Ree, I'm okay saying their names because they've identified themselves in the comments, so I think that's okay. Those 3 guys built this van together in their 20s, early 20s. When Steve and David owned this body shop, Dave was 20 years old, Steve was 23 when this van was built in 83. And Kevin still lives in Vietnam. He knows that this van is here now. I'm sure that those guys all talk. And anyway, that's the update. We're gonna clean this thing up. I'm sure Steve is gonna wanna come see it. He's expressed interest in purchasing it as well. But I'm gonna have the paint all buffed. I'm gonna, polish all the chrome. I'm gonna go over, I think, some of the screws that are holding things on. I'm just gonna, polish them up a little bit, that kind of thing, Little things. I'm only gonna do little things. I'm not gonna change anything about this van other than just freshen it up a little bit. And that's it. I mean, it's too good. We're gonna have the carb rebuilt, oil change, all that kind of stuff. But essentially, there's nothing wrong at all with this van. And make sure all the lights are working. It's so clean, guys. Like, this thing is insane. I know there's people in the comments saying different things like, oh, you pay too much for that. I guarantee you, I didn't pay too much for this van. If you look at van prices right now, I just saw one go at auction. A full-size van, newer than this one, I think it's an 86, less desirable. Full-size with windows and stuff, which is less desirable. Has like a gray 90s van conversion interior in it, but 50,000 original miles, went for 22,000 bucks. American, US currency. There's another van that just went up for sale for 95 grand. That's an old Survivor van with a wicked paint job. 95 grand, guys. This thing is a show van. Full painted undercarriage, chrome linkages. I'm talking about probably not enough miles on it to warrant an oil change since it has been a show van. I'm gonna talk to Steve and those guys and see what the real deal was, because I expect that most of the miles that are on the odometer are pre it becoming a show van. In the 4 years between 79 and 83 when it was built, that's when those miles got put on it. Didn't happen after. Couldn't have. It's way too mint. Way too mint. So anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited to learn more about it. I'm excited that those guys still are friends and that they built this thing together. I have a similar story and a connection to something that I built with a bunch of friends, a bunch of really great guys. We made a ton of great memories. It was a motorcycle when I worked at Ass Kicker Motorcycles, and it was called Knuckle Dragger. If you search up Knuckle Dragger Bagger, you'll see what I'm talking about. I have a love affair with that motorcycle, and I would love to own it one day. I think similar thing is happening for Steve right now. Him and his buddies, they got all these memories, and the fact that this thing exists, hopefully we can get it into his hands. But anyway, let's get to cleaning, man. This thing is, it's gonna look cherry.
Good enough, good enough, good enough.
All right, well, I am absolutely stunned at the condition of this van. It is way better than I thought it was. I knew it was painted underneath. I knew that, you know, it's a really nicely preserved show van. It's a unicorn. This is a unicorn van. There is probably not another one in this nice a shape in the world. And if there is, it's very, very few of them. This is 100%, without a doubt, a unicorn van. This van right here is in such good shape. I couldn't tell under an inch of dust what this thing really was. And I was very wrong about the backstory of this van. If you've been following along, maybe you've seen it on Facebook. The original owner of the body shop, Fantasia Body Shop, his business partner, David Lloyd, who painted this, and by the way, the airbrushing is incredible. Under an inch of dust, it looks a lot different. This is insane. It's absolutely beautiful. I couldn't be happier. It's incredible. I'm scared to drive it. I probably won't drive it because it is literally perfect paint underneath. Like, there's not even rock chips. I'm talking about, like, it's beautiful. It has no rust. For example, the e-brake mechanism, where you've got cables and springs and all that kind of stuff, like, there's not even paint around where the springs connect. Like, I'm talking about, this thing is absolutely preserved. It's absolutely insane. I can't believe that I'm now a part of the history of this van, having discovered it and kind of brought it back into the world. And by doing that, the original owner of the body shop, his business partner, David Lloyd, who did all this artwork, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but Kevin Landry, the owner of the van, or the original owner of the van, him and his friend Mike Steer and Steve Ree, who's the owner of the body shop, David Lloyd, who's the painter, those four guys were friends in their early 20s. And they built this van to showcase their work. Kevin and Mike, Steve and David had a body shop / upholstery shop in the early 80s. And that's what this van is. It won 5 out of 6 shows it went to first place. It's still in that condition. This thing parked on a mirror. This thing parked with a wheel off of it to show how painted everything is. The body seams on the A-arms were smoothed out and welded up. Like, Mike remembers sanding it. It was 100% taken apart, wiring harness out, engine, like everything taken apart to be painted. Like, there's no overspray on trim clips. There's no overspray on hardware. Like, everything was off of it. You know how I know that? Number one, Mike told me, because Mike was here. We're gonna get you that little interview. But the other way I found out is that there are some finger-tight bolts under there. Like, I'm pretty sure the tranny cross member has a finger-tight bolt on it. That would have fallen off 100% if you took it for a drive. This thing went for one drive that I know of, and that was to Langley Cruise-In car show in 2003. The reason I know that is because there was a permit still on it, like a paper permit for one day. And the tire's date code is 2002, so that all lines up. Like, the guy who owned it after Kevin, he put new tires on it and he took it for Langley Cruise-In one time. That's the only drive that we know of for sure that it went on. It could have been on others, but I don't know. It doesn't look like it from underneath. This is just insane. This is absolutely insane. I've been in contact with Steve, David, Kevin, and Mike, all 4 of the original boys that built this thing. And Steve has expressed a great amount of interest in getting it back. You know, as far as it goes. That's what I want to see happen. They say in business, emotion shouldn't get in the way of business. That's not how I live my life. I don't believe in that. I believe good things happen to good people, and you do good things come back, and all that stuff, okay? That's just me, that's how I think. This van is worth way more than I originally thought. I originally thought it was worth probably 30 to 40 grand. That's why I bought it. I figured 30 to 40 grand, that's what it's worth. Because there's not really another true example of something super comparable to this, like this is as preserved as it gets, right? It's a unicorn. I've seen vans recently, 50,000 miles. This one just sold on bringatrailer.com, 50,000 miles. It was an 86, less desirable year, if you know vans. And it was a full size with a V6 in it, completely stock, gray interior, totally stock, 22 grand US, right? That's 30 something Canadian. This van, I believe at auction, will sell for 40 to 50, conservatively 40 to 50 US. I think that's what it's worth, because there is not another example of this crazy. There is so many extra little custom touches that we've noticed now. After talking to Mike, after being with the van and cleaning it and going through it, there's like a leaded glass Excalibur light up on the roof of this thing. Like everything works. The stereo works, equalizer, it all works. It is insane. The chrome is beautiful. I'm just gonna switch you around. We're gonna do a little walk around. I'm just gonna show you what this is all about here. Let's just have a look at this. This is all chromed. This, we've got engraved 24 karat gold, little swords on there, Excalibur swords. Lots of nice chrome, nice painting, and it is all just brand new, guys. It is beyond me incredible. The paint is in perfect condition, minus a couple of tiny chips that I've noticed over time. The artwork, like I said, it's incredible. Dave is still doing artwork. He was 20 years old when he did this van. Okay, he's 20 years old, and it's amazing. Like, the colors that he used even to do this are just beautiful. This is all freehand, by the way, 100% freehand. He used no stencils to do this. This is a steady hand and a keen eye. Like that is right there that I couldn't figure out the name of. This is the holy grail of vans. To me anyway. I mean, in my opinion, this is what holy grails are, okay? The taillights, we got those back in there. Let me show you the taillights. Can't believe it doesn't have a custom steering wheel. Look at those taillights. The whole story of the airbrushing of this van is that when the doors are open at the back, it tells the story of Excalibur, the movie, 1981. From the beginning scenes all throughout the movie, he falls into the pit here. He's down in there. It's just incredible. It is just beautiful. The other thing that blew me away, which I should have looked and probably noticed, but I just assumed right off the bat that these were fiberglass, and they are absolutely not. this is all handmade steel, fender flares, running boards, all handmade, and chin spoiler. That's all done by hand. Just hundreds of hours of work in this van. I am absolutely stunned at its condition. Like I said, here's more engraving, 24 karat gold in there. The interior, I'm gonna get you guys some better shots of the interior as well. Let's throw that chandelier on, just because it's one of my favorite parts. I think those are them. Oh, by the way, this is the Excalibur stained glass custom light up here. Just beautiful. Everything works in here, guys. It's ridiculous. Here's the stereo. It's on radio right now, but equalizer works. All the speakers work. It's missing one speaker grill, just like this one, but for the other side, it's missing that. Let's go have a look at that chandelier. I mean, this is just beautiful, beautiful upholstery work. Like, we built this to show how good we are. That's what this upholstery is all about. Look at that. Unreal. Just beautiful. No rust anywhere. We're gonna show you underneath the van in a second here. Doors closed like brand new. Everything lines up perfect. I did some adjustments here and there just to make it close beautiful, and it does. This thing is just stunning, guys. Just fucking stunning. Anyway, let's throw it up and have a look underneath this thing. Now, there's a lot of nice painted vans out there, but I guarantee none of them look like this. Look at the floor. This is better than brand new. This is fully painted with enamel, custom colors. Like, I don't know if that's just metallic or if that's pearl in the drive shaft, but the colors pop under here just as much as they pop on the outside. Like full diff painted, backing plates, everything. You can tell everything was taken apart to paint too, because like we've got, you know, the color of the floor is on the U-bolts, the color of the drive shaft is on the rear end. These tires are brand new. They haven't had the blue taken off the white lettering. I would have had the lettering on the outside, but that's just me. And it just doesn't stop. This is what I'm talking about. The clips, the bolts, the lines, everything is painted like brand new. This is that bolt I was telling you about. It's not even tight. See that lock nut? It's not even tight. Beautiful paint. All I did was wipe this with Windex. That's how much use it's seen. You can see what I'm talking about. Like oil pans, custom painted. There's some scratches here. Unfortunately, somebody used a jack on it without a rag. And there's some scratches on the rear end, probably from getting hooked up with a tow truck, getting it moved around. The gas tank's fully painted. You know, this is, and let me say again for, you know, the people that haven't seen this thing before, none of this is recent. This is all 1983. That's when this vehicle was finished. It got its tag from the body shop. The spoiler's custom metalworked. This van is incredible, incredible. And so back to what I was saying about what I think it's worth. I think it's worth easily 40 to 50 grand US dollars. I think it's, honestly, I would not be surprised if it went to auction and got much, much more than that. There's gotta be some guys out there that have the money and that just have to have a piece of history like this. Having said all that, when I spoke with Steve about the van and he expressed interest in buying it and we talked about it, I told him, you know, the condition of it. He wanted to know like what kind of shapes it in, what's the condition. And I told him what I thought it was worth. I just was very honest with him. I said, Steve, this is what the deal is. He saw the video about me talking about it and saying that this is a business decision and blah, blah, blah. And Steve's retired now. He's done well for himself. He knows that, you know, we're young and we're on a mission to try and, you know, make a career out of being in this custom industry. And I appreciate that from Steve. He does want it back. And what he told me is, he said, I don't want to get in the way of you making money. I think that this could be a really great thing for you. And if it's worth what you think it's worth, like, I'd feel bad, you know, taking it for anything less. And I said, I appreciate that, but at the same time, I really want you to have this van. Like, I think that, you know, local history as well. Like, I know a bunch of guys around here, older dudes that have been in the industry for a long time, and just, I don't know, I want Steve to have the van. Like, I really do. I want him to have it really bad. And I'm not a greedy person, or I don't think I am. And so I offered it to him for a lot less than what I think it's worth, in hopes that he could justify bringing it back into his life. Like, I know that, you know, 50 grand or 40 or 50 grand US, like if I just said, Steve, just wait for it to go to auction, see what you can do, I feel like that'd be kind of a dick move. I feel like there's no obligation for me to do this, but I offered it to him for 40 grand Canadian. That's legit. That's just what I said. I said, if you want it, 40 grand Canadian. I'm still making money. This is what a win-win situation is all about. I make money. I'm still making quite good money at that, although I'm knowing how much I think it's truly worth. And another, just to back that up, just so you guys don't think I'm blowing smoke up your ass. When I first got the van, like a couple days after I got it, I got offered 30 grand cash for it before I even wiped the dust off it. And then I posted pictures of it after I washed it. Hadn't waxed it yet, now it's waxed. I got an offer for 40 grand cash for it. This is sight unseen. People that don't live locally, they just saw it and said, oh my God, I need to have that. And now that, like, if I post pictures of underneath this thing, I'm gonna get more and more offers for it. So I believe that I'm being a nice guy at offering it to Steve for 40 grand, even though I'm making really good money at that. That's the most I've ever spent on anything. And that's the most I've ever made on a flip, 15 grand. And so for me, that's a win. And it's an even bigger win because Steve appreciates the van a lot. He appreciates the fact that I'm offering it to him for that much. I don't know 100% if he's gonna buy it or not. I think he will, because he's gonna come here with David and with Mike. All three of them are gonna come revisit the van. Kevin actually lives in Vietnam now. He traded this van for camera gear way back in the day. There's lots of stories to go along with that, and maybe when Steve and Mike and David come, maybe we'll hear more about it. But anyway, that's the truth. I offered Steve the van for 40 grand, and that's a win-win situation. I do believe in, you know, what you put out comes back, and I feel for Steve very much because I can totally relate. There's a motorcycle that myself and some really good friends of mine, Hakeem Hassan was the designer, painter. I was a fabricator among some other guys that had hands on it, Mike Rock, Curtis Rufino. These guys, when I was in my early 20s, we built this motorcycle and it made a huge splash, and it was the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen to completion. And I personally have a quest in my life to get this motorcycle back. If you guys are interested in knowing about this, search on Google, knuckle dragger, bagger. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Actually, there it is right there. I'm sitting right next to it in the magazine cover. 2013, it was a huge hit. Some of the greatest people that I know, craftsmen, had a hand in it, and it means a lot to me. So me doing this for Steve, I'm hoping that that's some good karma, as so that one day I'll get some of that back in the form of hopefully being able to obtain knuckle dragger for myself and to bring here so that my friends and everybody that had a hand in it can enjoy it again. We have some great memories with it. And so I relate to Steve. I know Steve wants it back. I know Steve's buddies all want it back. And there was maybe a little bit of heart-wrenching stuff that happened during this van's existence, and it's, you know, this van being let go and leaving those guys' lives. There's some stuff there. I feel for him, and I believe this is a total win-win situation, so I couldn't be more stoked. I know I'm rambling on, but I hope this is all making sense to you guys. This is a pretty unique and special situation for me, and I think for Steve as well. It's a really crazy whirlwind situation. I know Steve's gonna come look at it, and hopefully he decides to take it home with him. If he doesn't decide to take it home with him, that's okay, and I think that's great as well, because quite honestly, I will make more money, and I will have had his blessing. He's, you know, very grateful that I'm offering it to him for that much, and that he's able to see it. He hasn't been able to see this van for 30 plus years, right? So the fact that I have his blessing, if he passes on buying the van for the deal that I'm offering, it will go to auction and the world will have their chance to own the unicorn, holy grail of vans. And I'll have his blessing. You know, fingers crossed. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this video off right here, right now, and just let you guys know that I am in contact with Kevin Landry as well. I've been talking to him about it. I've been talking to Mike, Steve, Dave, all four of these boys about this van, and collecting as much history as I can to go with the van so that, you know, those names are never forgotten. That's where we're at. So Steve's gonna come by with his buddies and have a look at it, and has agreed to let me film it. Me and Christina are gonna film it. Thanks everybody for watching Make It Custom. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, notifications, all that jazz. And we will see you on the next one. All right, have a good one.